Yo, yo, yo. See, it's the Batman, better known as Black Man, but the man can act, man. Get a CAT scan because we out here trying to do damage when I manage. If anybody thinking that the man is acting managed, it's because Bruce Wayne is up in his castle lavish. Why you trying to get this cabbage, boy? You average. We out here, boy. I'm out spirits. If anybody won't come get their mouth clear, I don't know. Sometimes it's just about rhyming words, whether it makes sense or not. I can't really make most of it. Hey, what's going on, world? Good morning. It is Saturday morning. Ow, you already know what we do, baby. It is time to discuss some of the things that's going on in the Blurred universe, everybody. And this week, as you all know, the Batman dropped. And we want to talk about whether or not we dug it or not, what's dope, what's not, whether it's hot or not, whether we's hot to trot or hot to flop. Yo, we down in Florida where we dip in corridors, and if your girl's talking shit, I will ignore it, bruh. We out here, and Kevin Dean out here, my man, you know he is with the main thing. My man Green, and yo, the gang Green, even though he kind of looked like the son of Al Green, or should I say, the homeboy from Hey Arnold. All right, that was my joke. I said it earlier, and it hit, but it ain't hitting no more. Let me go ahead and go back to the screen. We take things real liberal here. All right, guys. So as you know, like I said, man, the Batman dropped this week. A whole bunch of other stuff is happening as well. For those Star Trek fans out there, Picard is out. All right, so Picard season 2 is now out, and also Uncharted dropped last week, as well as there is a new episode, if you didn't watch it and ain't staying up with this, of Raised by Wolves, which we love. But let's go ahead and kick these things off today with none other than this guy who's supposedly calling himself the new Batman. Yaz saw it, Kevin saw it, Tyrone hasn't seen it, but I've seen it. So let's go ahead and chat. It is Saturday morning on the New Blurred Order.
Hey guys, I love the New Blurred Order. You should too.
Whoa. All righty. Good morning, everybody. Hey, happy Saturday. It is Blurred time, man. And I ain't even gonna lie, I don't even want to waste too much time talking about all of your whatever happened to you during the week. We don't care right now. All right, we could care less. If you're watching, we're here to talk about the Batman. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, I want to get right into it. Yaz has seen it. Kevin is here. What's up, Kevin? Just so y'all know, Kevin is a good friend, comedian from the Kissimmee area. Kevin, what's going on, brother? Good to meet you, man. Good to see you. How you doing?
Hey, I'm so happy to be here. Thank y'all so much for having me. Big time fan. Love everything nerdy, and I'm happy to be here, man. Huge Batman fan, by the way.
Oh, wow. Damn, you were doing so well.
Good thing Stephanie's not here.
Yeah, I know. If Steph was on here, like, what has Batman really done? All right, other than inflate the gas rates and sit back out in the shadows with all of his white privilege. You know what I'm saying? We miss you now, Stephanie.
No, Batman's on his way of being canceled. By 2025, Batman is
there were some moments in there where he put his hands on a woman, and I ain't gonna talk about it too tough, but yeah, man. Listen, Stephanie is unfortunately in flight, like literally on a plane right now. So if they don't have, I mean, obviously the Wi-Fi isn't as good at 50,000 feet in the air. So we wish you a safe landing, Steph. And if you can hop on when you get down, great. If not, we'll see you next week. Ty, we don't know where he is. He's MIA. We put out an APB on him. He may show up and say that oops, my bad, I was asleep. Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
His 3-year-old is holding him hostage.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's being held by the Riddler right now is what's going on. So without that, it is myself. Yaz, of course, is here, the godmother, the founder, the founding queen of our Blurredverse, as well as Mr. Tyrone himself with the animated series in the background. Dopeness. I myself am here in the heart of Gotham, which I believe is a character in its own self. And I saw Batman last night. And I just want to ask the three people on the panel without all right, Lisa just popped up in the comments, and I just want to say, Lisa, cover your ears. Now I'm just playing. I'm gonna try my best. I'm not gonna give away. I'm good at not giving away the really important bits, but I may slip up on some things that shouldn't be slipped up on. So we'll try our best this morning. But just 1 or 2 words, if we could, starting with Yaz and then going to Kevin. What did you think of the movie at first glance after watching it? What was your first impression, Yaz?
First glance impression, I would have to say it was interesting.
Okay. Okay.
It was very, I would say, dark.
True.
Like mood, you know. Those were my comments. Will be left at.
Okay, I could dig it. Kev, what about you, homeboy? What you thought about it, man? 2 or 3 words or whatever.
You know what? I loved the movie. I didn't know that I loved the movie at the end of the film. As I went home and I was really sitting with it, I said, wow, there's a lot to take away from this movie. And I just want to talk to somebody about it. And that to me is the makings of a good movie. So okay. I did go to the movies with somebody who was a cynic and not a Batman fan. And I could tell you that his energy in the movie, sitting next to somebody who was not a Batman fan, made the movie very hard to watch. I'll say that.
Explain. Help me understand what you mean by that.
I will say there are 2 types of people, and there's definitely a tribalism. There are Batman fans that believe Batman can do no wrong. He's whooped Superman's ass. He's done it all. He's the greatest detective in the world, the most complex character. And then there's other people that are like, this nigga don't even have no powers. He can't do nothing. There's people that are of the ilk that, he's taken the Green Lantern's ring. He's actually been a Lantern at one point. He's done it all. He's fought God. And other people that's like, how he gonna fight God? He can't even fight crime. He can't even fight poverty in the city. So I was sitting next to the latter, somebody who was like, man, he's not a superhero, and he was a Dark Knight fan. So there's so many people that are like comparing this movie to The Dark Knight. Yeah. So it's a hard watch for somebody going in to watch, comparing it to such a great film.
Man, if I didn't know any better, I would think that you saw the movie with me, because that sounds like me. I'm a huge Dark Knight fan. I loved the way Heath Ledger depicted the Joker. Not only that, this movie. All right, let me give my opinion. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. All right, I didn't like it. I thought. All right, let me say this. I thought it was all right. It feels like one of those movies that's going to age better with time. But it's not one of those movies that as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, like when I saw No Way Home, I was practically standing up in my chair the whole movie. Yes. I was like, holy shit. Oh, shit, look at that. Look at that. Yo, did they just do? And this one, I was like, all right. Oh, you know what I'm saying? There were a few wake me up moments when this is over. It drug for me, bro. It was a hard watch. But let me say this. This movie made me love the other movies so much more. This
I have a theory about that.
All right, let's talk about that too. But I mean, the Dark Knight series, man. Like, I mean, the Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan team up, bro, was genius in my opinion. Like those first, the Dark Knight was the best of all of them in my opinion. I mean, despite the fact that Heath Ledger passed, I mean, I don't think we're going to get better. I mean, I don't think anybody. Look, I don't care who you say, Joaquin Phoenix, Jack Nicholson. I was a skeptic going into that movie, Kevin. I was like, who is Heath Ledger?
Right.
Jack Nicholson,
things I hate about you,
role, bro. Can't nobody, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't put it like that. It was like, nah, man. We're definitely going to make it so that Heath Ledger has a different type of Joker. And I loved the way that they made him completely dark. I mean, he was funny in his nurse outfit. I mean, he had some funny moments, but he wasn't a Joker. He was the Joker, right? And then, Joaquin Phoenix. And one thing I am looking forward to is if they do integrate that Joker from Joaquin Phoenix into this Batman, which if you watch the whole movie, doesn't seem like that's what's going to happen. But let's say this. I'm not of all the Batman series, the Tim Burton, the Joel Schumacher, the Christopher Nolan series, and the what's the dude name who messed it all up?
Josh Whedon.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say Josh Whedon.
Of those folks, I think this one belongs on the bottom of that totem pole. Except for one saving grace of this movie, and the saving grace of this movie, for those of y'all that don't already know, is obviously Zoe Kravitz. This movie may as well have been called Catwoman, and that would make it better. Like it was. Look, Zoe stole the show. Like she earned her check on this movie, and damn, I say, I left this movie wanting to see so much more. I didn't realize how dope. Like I knew she was a great actress. I mean, to an extent. I mean, you know, we remember when she was that butterfly character in the X-Men, and we were like, "Oh, that's cute. Look at little Zoe. Oh, she's just adorable." And then we saw her do a couple other roles. You know, I liked her in the Fantastic Beasts. She showed a little bit more of her dark side, which that's got another sequel with Dumbledore. Oh my God!
Yes.
Dumbledore is Jude Law, bro. Yo, and oh shit! Okay, all right. So, let me die. So then once I saw that she was gonna be playing it, I was like, okay, I'm interested because if we can keep it 100, I mean, no shade, but this didn't do it for me.
No,
right?
This didn't do it for me. What about you, Kevin? How was you feeling about Anne Hathaway?
I'm not a fan of Princess Diaries or Les Mis, so Anne wasn't it for me either. But I did like the suit that she had. I like the ears were visors. It was cool for its time.
Yeah.
What I will say about the Dark Knight franchise in comparison to this new Batman movie is that the greatest movie is the sequel. The Dark Knight is the sequel to that trilogy. And if you're comparing the second film to this first one, you'd have to compare it to Batman Begins. There's there's world building, there's character development, there's things that need to happen before we can have this. And honestly, The Dark Knight is in my top 5 favorite movies of all time, superhero or otherwise. So I don't think it's fair to compare the two. I think that this first movie did its job. It is on par with Batman Begins, in my opinion. It's a great starting film. It's Batman 2 years into his career, and it shows that it has a lot of room for growth. And I think it was an enjoyable movie. I think it was entertaining.
You agree with that, Yes?
Yeah, to an extent, for sure. This movie wasn't bad, I guess you could say, but it wasn't one of my favorites. Just because, like you said, as soon as I left, I literally said to my mom in the car, I was like, I'm gonna have to rewatch this movie again because I don't appreciate the things that were in it that were supposed to be significant right now because I'm just digesting, you know what I'm saying? So I agree that Dark Knight definitely was like top 5 ultimate fave movies for sure. And Heath Ledger, and from day one, okay, when I saw him in Knight's Tale, like always knew that he was gonna be fucking amazing. So but I agree with you. Anne Hathaway, I loved The Princess Diaries. I grew up watching those movies, and I agree that she wasn't the best Catwoman, but she was what we had for the time. So you know what I mean? Like she did her best. But her outfit was fucking fire, though. I will give you that.
Yeah.
It was definitely fire with her visor, and the way the suit was, and you know what I'm saying. It was like playtex. You know what I'm saying? It was like Batman playtex was dope. So I definitely like that about it, but. This movie definitely, I would agree that Zoe Kravitz stole the fucking show. She definitely killed her role, and I loved that she had so many different looks to her in this movie as well. That part kind of made me happy because when I saw the preview of her with that red wig bob thing, I was like, oh god, I'm not gonna like this. That's not a good look for her. So so I'm happy to fix that shit. But this movie definitely it's a lot to digest all at once, and I liked the fact that she was such a dominant character in this movie though. That made this movie so much better, and I think that the direction should be the next movie they should make would be a cat woman movie for sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, I agree with that. I don't know whether or not we're talking a solo cat movie, but there's a couple things. All right, there's a couple things about this particular Catwoman that I particularly dug. I dug the fact that she wasn't like she was fearless. Like she was completely fearless. Like she didn't have that thing in, like, she wasn't like a petty thief like Anne Hathaway was. You know what I'm saying? Like she was a legit boss. Like one thing about this movie is it's completely grounded in reality. All right, it's not like a fantasy Batman where he's flying in the moonlight in his bat wing. You know what I'm saying? And he has, you know, and the Joker has a 6-meter gun that comes out of his pants. Like it's based in the root of reality that we can believe. Like she does stunts that you're like, I could see somebody doing that. You know what I'm saying? And Batman does things that like, yo, all right, that makes sense. And Batman, for Kevin's in his to kind of piggyback off what he said, it is a very convincing infancy in his role of Batman. You could clearly see the wet behind the ears, so to speak, aspect of him. A lot of times, all right, spoiler number one, he doesn't in most of the Batmans, he kind of shows up, he's sitting on the ceiling, he drops out of the sky. In this one, he kind of walk.
Yeah, he does. Oh my god,
just using doors and shit.
It's like an entrance, like he makes like a slow or like and you see his back a lot too. That was like they're just showing you his back muscles.
Bruce Wayne's back. They show Bruce Wayne's back a lot.
Bruce Wayne's back.
Like that's the only thing that Robert Pattinson worked out. So they were really
like those upper thoracic muscles, you know, around the chest, you know, and like the upper, you know what I'm saying, like his neck. That's the song.
I thought he was gonna turn into Angel in one of the scenes. I was like, yo, this thing is back is protruded, dog. I thought he was the Archangel. I was like, is this an X-Men movie?
Let's remember, Tyrone, and I know you didn't see it, but let's remember, it was reported that Robert Pattinson was like, look, bro, I'm not working out for this movie. And he's trying to make a stand for puny white men so that they can be movie stars and superheroes and also be frail and petite. Now, hey, look, bro. Hey, stand on your soapbox. Do what you do, homeboy, and make your stand and protest, and bring everybody to the light. But I don't mind. I don't think that Batman. Look, Batman has not always been the Aquaman, Jason Momoa figure. Like Michael Keaton was Mr. Mom, bro. He was in Gung Ho. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he was some buff dude. He wore a turtleneck. He didn't have a shirtless scene like Val Kilmer did in Batman Forever. Look, bro. So this whole notion that you're starting this new Batman without muscles is bullshit. All right, what you are starting is emo Batman, like Benny said, and it definitely felt like this was a Batman that was inspired by The Crow. All right.
Yes. Okay, oh my god! Yes.
Yeah, he always looked like his Tamagotchi just died. It's like, damn, I forgot to feed it again.
It was. I mean, look, I'm not tripping. I don't mind my Batman with the side of Marilyn Manson. It's all good. But it was just like, yo, what exactly are we trying to portray here? Are we like really into this whole emo version of Batman, or do we want to accept Batman as being, like a dark figure that's actually confident? What do you think, Ty?
Oh, hello.
Oh, surprise. He came in like Batman. He was like, I'm here.
I am Black Man.
Yes,
I don't speak unless spoken to.
Backgrounds, no?
It's too early. Apologies.
Oh, sorry. Did we start later today than we usually do? I'm sorry about that.
Nah, it just was a long. It doesn't even matter. I'm here. Look, man. So let me wake up.
Hold on. Let me take a step back. All right. I Ty's like my best friend in the whole world, and all right, I did kind of throw him into the fire. I saw him backstage. He was like, he was in the virtual green room. He was like, I was like, yo, this is the perfect time to put him on screen, bro. And thank you so much, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Come on screen. Let me put you by your homeboy. Yeah, man. I don't know if you saw the movie or not, but we've been talking about Batman.
Yeah.
You did? Oh, okay. All right, cool. Fire Stick, movie.
No, I went to the movies.
Oh, okay. Hey, I like my theatrical releases with a side of COVID.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this wasn't Spider-Man, so I was in a theater with like 3 other people. So anytime I can get in there like that, I'll go check out something.
Okay. Well, we asked everybody earlier, and since you're joining us now, just want to get a couple words.
And there's Vince's
All
internet.
right.
The Riddler
Well,
got Vince.
I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. First of all, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was a good adaptation of Batman, and something that we needed. The narration, I thought was really cool with Bruce Wayne being the narrator. A lot of times of the movie. The detective story is something that we've wanted as comic book fans for a very, very long time. And I think they totally delved into the detective side of Batman. They made this a suspense mystery thriller. The whole movie you're like, okay, well, what's happening next? I thought they did a really good job of connecting the pieces and and keeping you kind of lost a little bit. I mean, you kind of had an idea, but you still weren't for sure up until the very, very last minute of the movie. So I think that part for me was exceptional and very good when it comes to the directing and the acting and everything that else that went on in the movie. Now I heard what you guys were talking about as far as the visual when it came to Robert Pattinson and the crow look and everything like that. But I think that was necessary. I think it complemented the whole dark side of this whole film. Like this film was very dark, very, very Tyrone, I need you to step in and be my interpreter. I can't. I'm stuck. But I just think it was a really, really good movie overall. I loved Catwoman. I have a newfound affection for Zoe Kravitz. I think one of the things that I think was exceptional from her as Catwoman was she made Catwoman sexy without trying.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could when you compare her to say a Halle Berry or say even go as far as the Selena Kyle played by Michelle Pfeiffer. Michelle Pfeiffer, although I loved her and I thought she was extremely sexy, you could tell that she was trying to be sexy. With Zoe, it came off natural. I went to the movies with my son and I was like, yo, son, now that's the type of woman I'd like to see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, yo, she's all right. I was like, no, son. No, she's not all right.
She's all right.
She's very, very sexy. Yeah,
He's
Yo, did your son say she's all right? Your son's like 5.
Thank you. He's 5.
No. My teenage son is 17.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
My teenage son is 17.
You're right.
And
right.
yes, I was trying to lead him in the ways of the bat and the cat. So
You mean the cat?
Yeah, I was trying to get him familiar with the cat. Before he gets familiar with
That's a real woman, son. Hey.
That's it. That's what you need. That's what you need. But
all
I enjoyed
right.
it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
That's what
Yo,
I
I am in 100% agreement with you regarding your sentiments on Zoe. Like we said before you got here, I feel like this was her movie. I feel how sometimes the sidekick, how Boba Fett becomes the main dish in a movie where he only has 2 lines, right? This is not that because she was one of the main cast characters, but I dare say that I was throughout amidst this movie, I was more invested in her story than I was Bruce Wayne's. Let me just say that, and I was more interested in seeing her plot develop than I was Bruce. Bruce was not the Bruce that we're used to. Bruce was a depressed. I've been doing this for a little while. I'm losing money while I'm doing this. Alfred, who I'm going to give credit to my man because he did play a good Alfred. Oh, this isn't Alfred. My bad. Sorry. Yeah. The dude that played Alfred was Schmeagol.
Andy
all right.
Serkis.
I cannot not see Schmeagol. All I see is Schmeagol. Even as Claw, I was like, oh, look at Schmeagol fighting Black Panther. You know, master sweet sauce, master hot sauce.
Yo, this is gonna keep on active in this part. You want that part in Lord of the Rings so bad, don't you?
That's all I see.
Please
the
call
whole
this
time,
man.
The whole time I saw this dude, I just kept thinking my precious, but he did his thing. But there were some scenes in the movie that frankly infuriated me. They infuriated me. It infuriated. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. Give me the fuck. All right. Yes, I'm gonna clue you in on this. But let's just say, listen, Batman has a suit of armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except for one part of his armor. And of course, that is what?
His helmet.
Yeah, I was gonna say his helmet.
Now, Batman, let's just say, gets a little close to the fire in one of these scenes.
What?
And escapes completely unscathed, not even a tan.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, get the fuck out of here, man.
The
You know
suit
what I'm
wasn't
saying?
even tarnished. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I'm gonna leave it at
I
that.
was like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So that happened. But again, I tried my best to withhold my judgment of Robert Pattinson throughout this, because as you know, I was rooting for him to do well. And I don't think that he did poorly. But I do think that his version of Batman may not have necessarily been my favorite depiction of the Batman. And like I said, it made me love Michael Keaton even more. I just want to take a couple seconds. Hold on. Let me just take a couple seconds and just give props and homage to the original OG Batman of Tim Burton fame. I just want to remind you guys before we speak on the Batman, because you know that's going to be spoiled anyway. I just want to remind you guys of how dope this Batman is. All right. Now, first of all, this whole concept of Batman not killing people. Oh, no. Batman threw motherfuckers off roofs. Batman put his string around necks and threw folks over balconies. He killed the Joker in the first movie. This is not no puss-ass, punk-ass Batman. Michael Keaton's Batman was a gangster, and he wasn't about that bullshit-ass life. And he was even bulletproof without his suit on. If you recall, when the Joker came up to City Hall and they interrupted the press conference, there was a bunch of mimes that came out. He took one in the arm, kept walking, didn't even get phased by it, stayed with the heat on him. This dude right here is walking around with a full suit of armor, getting his ass beat every other minute. You know what I'm saying? And it is annoying. This dude had
It's the second year, Vince. It's the second year. He's
still
2
the
years
richest
in.
dude in the fucking city, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason for him
The
to get
richest dude in the city is the best fighter.
Yo, all right. Okay, why is he riding?
I-
Listen. Why is Bruce Wayne, the richest man in the goddamn city, riding a goddamn Kawasaki S? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is going on? Like, what?
Yeah.
He looked like he was living in Arkham. Like, let's be
Yeah, right.
serious, okay? Like,
Yeah.
what? You're fucking Bruce Wayne, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, I get it was supposed to be dark, but like, the only thing that was dark was the damn like flashing lights that kept fucking. I thought it was an epileptic fucking fit throughout the movie. So I'm just gonna give a disclaimer: if you are photosensitive to light, if you have anybody that is in your party, please do not take them to see this movie. I'm just letting you know, okay? Because my mom, like, she has like eye problems. She literally was like, "Yo, this movie is gonna make me fucking have a seizure." Like, what the fuck? Like, literally, like the lights were just like at certain scenes. I mean, certain scenes were pretty awesome when they were doing it, but it was just like it's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I stand by what I said before this movie came out. Robert Pattinson is not my Batman. That's all I have to say.
Hey, can I say something? Can I say something? Because I feel like again, Robert Pattinson is being attacked, and this movie had it. Listen, because I've heard you guys say he was the worst Bruce Wayne. Well, let's be clear. This movie wasn't about Bruce Wayne. It was about the Batman, and they made that very apparent. You only saw Bruce Wayne in very limited scenes. Like you probably in all and like if you add it all up, you probably saw Bruce Wayne maybe 10 minutes of the whole film, and that's what they meant it to be. Also, one of the things that made those other Batmans, including the Batman with Michael Keaton, so good was that he had actually at that time, you know, someone responsible for creating all of these wonderful gadgets and toys and everything like that. We don't know that he necessarily has that in this version of Batman because we never saw anyone outside of him and Alfred part of their team. Also, we did notice that the Batcave is not finished. If it is, it's, you know, it's in its very, you know, like he hasn't even like made a Batcave yet. Like this, his location that he goes to was not a Batcave. It was more like an abandoned uh subway
Yeah.
thing or something like that. So the, like, you know, to someone, I don't know who said it, but to, yeah, this is like, yeah, this is like year 2. This is like me deciding that I want to make a difference, but not having all the pieces in place yet. So that's exactly what you saw in this movie. Robert Pattinson did an amazing job. If, you know, and I don't want anybody who's hearing us talk about this to think for one moment that this man did not act his ass off. He did everything natural in a way that didn't seem over the top. And this version of Batman was very, very good. To compare him to Michael Keaton isn't fair. Because again, that's the bet. We're comparing him to the very best of all time, and I don't think anybody has ever reached Michael Keaton level. We got a lot of people that have come close. Well, not a lot of people, but we've got a couple that have come close. But no one's ever going to probably reach Michael Keaton, and that's why he's the GOAT. But this movie, for anyone who's out there, you know, contemplating going to see this movie, having doubts about this movie, please do not allow us to you know, mess that up for you. Go see this movie. This is a very, very good movie. Everybody in this movie did an absolute excellent job of acting. Penguin was on point. John Turturro as Carmine Falcone was absolutely amazing. The Riddler, Paul Danu, absolutely amazing. Everybody, my man, can't forget Gordon, Commissioner Gordon, Jeffrey Wright, killed it. Yep. Everybody in this movie acted their ass off. The script was brilliant. You know, I know that you guys keep talking about this Bruce Wayne, but this movie is called The Batman. The Batman, not the Bruce Wayne, not the Alfred, the Batman. And they did a damn good job of making it about the Batman, and I appreciate them for that.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not disagreeing.
Are you done with the filibuster, bro?
Right. Yeah, because y'all over here just spitting salt on the one DC movie that as of late has given us, you know, something to really, really be proud of. You know,
I thoroughly enjoyed
I'm
it.
not sitting on it. I'm just saying it's not something I'm gonna jump up and down, enjoy, and scream from the top of the mountains that you need to go and see this. It was a good movie. I'm not gonna lie, it was a good movie, but it wasn't something like we were saying. It's not like a Marvel movie where I'm going to be talking about this for a week after the movie. Right. I'm going to be still contemplating what I saw a week after the movie. And damn, I'm going to have to wait this long to rewatch that because I'm not going to go spend more money to watch it again. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what you have to consider when it's a good movie. Yes, but it's not something I'm going to go and be like, hey, I'm going to go watch it again and spend more money to go do it just so I can make sure that I actually enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's no, I can go see No Way Home still. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? I still pay money to go see that right now. Like, and I already seen it a couple of times. So that's the difference. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. We're not saying that. We're just saying it's not something that everybody was making it out to be. Right. That's all.
I think you brought a lot of fun.
I think you brought up an excellent point.
Expectations need to be realistic going into this movie is all we're saying. Like, it was a good movie, but it wasn't something that was like, oh my God, like the Riddler, I'm not going to lie, could have been a little better for me. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, aspects of him could have been a little better. I definitely enjoyed him. Oh my God. But I'm just saying, like, aspects could have been better. So that's just what I'm getting at. Like, there was just certain things for me that were just like, I don't know, like, could have been a little bit better. He was a really good Riddler. I did not like him. I just think, like, I don't know. I would like to respond.
Okay, yes, please.
All right, so two parts to what you said. You bring up a really interesting point about it's not like a Marvel movie. I think that the MCU has had so many people. It's made us spoiled, and the thing that we're not taking into consideration is the MCU movie like Infinity War, Endgame is a 10-year payoff. You know, we watched starting in 2008, and we build up to that. There are so many movies in the MCU that don't build up, that don't stack up. Iron Man 2, for example. And whenever you're comparing these new movies that are trying to start off, this is the first movie, like I said, and you're comparing it to a movie like No Way Home that's had a payoff of 10 or more, because they have the Raimi films and the Amazing Spider-Man films also to back it. So now that you're comparing apples to oranges, when we are already invested in those characters, we love those characters. We're learning about the Batman characters for the very first time. So I think a lot of people go into these movies comparing it to a Marvel film, and I don't think that that's fair at all, because the MCU has laid the groundwork and has had the opportunity to flourish, whereas we're not giving this movie that chance.
Somebody said, to your point, Kevin, somebody said something to me yesterday that I had to push back on a little bit. I told them, I was like, yeah, I'm about to head out to see the Batman movie. They're like, oh, great, I love Batman. I was like, well, you know, I'm a Spider-Man fan at heart. They're like, I hate Spider-Man. I was like, what?
Nobody hates Spider-Man.
Why would you hate Spider-Man? They're like, oh, there's so many of them. Like how many movies are they gonna make? I was like, oh, okay. So which Batman was it that you like again? Was it Michael Keaton? Was it Christian Bale? Was it Val Kilmer? Was it Adam West? Was it George Clooney? Was it, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, this point that you're making that, oh, well, look, the MCU was developed and then we've been looking at Batman since the 80s, bro, in terms of theatrical cinematic releases. And he had a TV show.
But they're not connected. They're not intertwined.
That's not our fault. We have all of this built up, pent up energy for Batman that they are standing on top of, and they have to deliver on top of this. They can't come out like, look, we're starting fresh with a new Batman. No, bitch. You just had to get rid of the Batman because he didn't want to lose weight, and he just got back with his boo and ain't focused no more. And now you're trying to sell us on a whole new Batman that kind of is giving me I was going to say Pete Davidson vibes, but so I'm just saying, like, it's not fair. Hold on, it's not fair to be like, oh, you can't compare these. Marvel put in the work. Did you see what Marvel did? Marvel took the movies that they had and they merged them with the current movie. Ain't nothing stopping DC from doing that. They're about to do it in Flash. Right. So don't act like it's not possible. All right. So they had to deliver on top of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight series. It's not our fault that shit was so dope that they have to make it better. And I mean, I'm okay with this being an introductory version of the new Batman. I'm not even mad at it. I could see this Batman in the Justice League. I kind of dig the low-key, smaller, more detective, more a darker version. I get that. But in terms of the development of the character in this movie, I just felt like he was the same guy in the beginning that he was in the end. All right. With the exception of, you know, his maybe, you know, him being a little more into chocolate. If
you feel that way, you missed the whole point of the end of the film. No spoilers. I don't think that he was the same person at all. He was vengeance at the beginning and he learned at the end.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to talk about that afterwards.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about that afterwards.
right.
Yeah, spoilers free.
Oh my god, I want to spoil so bad. Right. Oh my god, please. Yeah,
we'll have to have that conversation.
All right, well, let's do this. Let me finish this real quick, and then I want to talk about something that Yaz said. But I just wanted to remind everybody that, and I know that Ty said it's not fair, and I know that Kevin's saying it's not fair, but I just want to remind everybody, Ty was wrong. He said he had help. Alfred did not build those gadgets. There was no Lucius in the Tim Burton series. It was just Batman, Michael Keaton, and he did this stuff himself. He didn't have a bunch of help. He was alone.
He had Wayne Tech.
Right.
He did not have Wayne Tech. There was no Wayne. There was no. What are you talking about in the Tim
Wayne
Burton?
Industries or whatever? We didn't see any of that in this.
You're talking Dark Knight, bro. We're talking Batman. He didn't even go to Wayne Enterprises for the most part. He didn't go into the Wayne building until Batman Returns, when he was in there with Selena Kyle. Then they was up there talking, and then they threw Selena out the window. But yeah, man, there was no, in the first movie, there was no assistance. He had all of those gadgets already.
He had Billy D. He had the mayor of Gotham.
Yeah, well,
if
yeah,
you got
Harvey
Billy
Dent.
D in a movie, you got Tech. That's it. He's from Cloud City.
Oh, come on, man. Listen,
You
listen,
can't
listen,
bring
listen.
Lando and not have Tech.
This is true, but the fact of the matter is, Michael Keaton's version of Batman did kill. He didn't think anything about it. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't no one rule. Even in The Dark Knight, he had this one rule. That shit came later. He wasn't that guy. Batman would kill you. He would throw you off the roof. There was one fight at the top of the tower toward the end of the movie where he fought this black dude who damn near kicked his ass, and he threw him up against the bell, and he fell all the way down, and he turned around and kept on marching. He was a killer. He killed the Joker. I just want to reiterate that. And there was even more people, like he was not afraid to blow motherfuckers up. So I think that to go from that Batman to this Batman, where we were kind of like, well, let's just punch them in the face until they fall asleep, you know what I'm saying, and then turn them in. It's just like, all right, I get it, but it's just not.
It's
Michael
the
Keaton's
detective. It's they literally that's what I'm saying. Like the focus was more on this being a mystery movie, more of a detective type film, and I think they hit it spot on with that. Like you were saying earlier, I could see this version of Batman being in the Justice League. I could absolutely not see this version of Batman in the Justice League. This version of Batman and the Justice League do not have anything to do with each other. This version of Batman is strictly on solving crimes and doing all of the other stuff that goes on in Gotham, which makes sense because it's a lot of shit going on in Gotham. But I thought that was the one thing that we've missed in a lot of the Batman movies is the fact that he has this ability to solve these cases using his intellect, using his know-how, using all of his resources to be that type of Batman. And this was something that has been clamored about amongst comic book fans for a very long time, because we've seen comic books that have spoke to the Detective Batman. We've seen animated series that have kind of tapped in a little bit to the Detective Batman, but we haven't seen a live action. And this is what we got. This was exactly what we got. We got a cop dressed up as Batman. That was pretty much what we got in this movie. But again, I think Robert Pattinson, for all the things that we talked about before him actually doing this role, I think he gave it all of everything that I knew he would, and for me, I just thought visually it looked good on screen. I thought everything else looks good on screen. And to Yaz's point, I don't know how Paul Dano could have done any better of a job at Joker than he did. That was a masterful, huh?
I'm not saying I didn't like the actors, like, him acting. I just said just his character. I don't know, just like, I don't know, that it was just a little different for me, I guess, like for it being the Riddler.
Yeah, well, yeah, she wants her Riddler to put on a mask and dance.
Yeah,
no, but I want my Riddler to, like, you know what I mean, like, I don't know, I'm so used to Jim Carrey being the Riddler. I wasn't used to like him not being smooth, and I was like, him being creepy was just a little extra eerie for me. I don't know, but like, I get it. The movie was dark. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, for me, I don't know. Certain things were just like.
All right. Well, let me say this. And Tyrone, we definitely want to get you in here because you have been an esteemed audience member for the last hour, and we appreciate it. But
I've been trying to jump in with some questions, but you guys are real fired up about this Batman stuff. So it's been there's been some pretty crazy conversation. I'm just like, oh shit, it's like watching a fight.
All right, well, let me say this. I agree with Ty about the detective part. I mean, let's admit, all right, what does DC Comics stand for? Detective Comics, right? So, I mean, this is the basics of DC Comics. It started off basically as this was an episode of Dragnet, bro. It was Joe Friday and his partner Commissioner Gordon, and it felt like that, bro. It felt like Law and Order, SVU. It definitely gave me those freaking vibes of like, okay, look, somebody's gonna learn. When is the sperm gonna show up? You know what I'm saying? Like at some point in time, there's gonna be semen. There's always semen, right? It's like we found semen around so it's like, all right, cool, I get it. But it bored the shit out of me, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, all right, bro, I get it. You're trying to figure out what the Riddler's saying, but will you punch somebody, for God's sake? And will you jump off a building? Like, I mean, he did. You know, there was some dope stunts, but they were few and far between. I'd say that there were 3 or 4 scenes in particular that were dope as shit, where I was like, whoa. Did I just get froze on my woe face? Did I get froze?
Yes.
Show your woe face, Vince.
You are a motherfucker, internet god. I don't know why you do this to me, but yeah, man, I was a little. I dare I say I don't mind the Batman detective act element. I mean, that's a part of his character. We know that. But in this particular element, I felt like they were a little too Dragnet, a little too Lethal Weapon, too Beverly Hills Cop. And I like to see a little more of the Batman. But, you know, I digress. I would like to focus a little more on something that Yaz said, which is that she doesn't like the Riddler. And I had to say that, in all honesty, the Riddler was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Really?
I thought that the Riddler was dope as fuck. I loved the way that he was depicted. I love the fact that he was a psychopath who was relentless, but I was a little disappointed in his strategizing, and I don't want to give it away, but I was just like, really, that was your plan? That was the plan? Okay, all right, whatever. And I was frankly a little disappointed with the unveiling too. I was like, oh, come on, man, come on.
I didn't like his motivations. I love everything about the movie and the Riddler and its setup, but then when they revealed why he did what he did or why he's doing what he's doing, I was like, man, that's hacky. Like you could have taken this in so many different directions.
Well, Kevin, I mean, if I can speak to it, this was something we've seen before.
Yeah.
In the Batman movies. This was Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
He basically took the Dark Knight plot and remixed it.
Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen people get taken hostage before, whether it's on TV or on social media. Sorry for the spoiler. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. Who knows? We've seen people be distressed before and not really care about the money and stuff. So in that element, it was very, very unoriginal, even in its own franchise.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this was the perfect film. There were points about the movie that I didn't like. I really did enjoy the Riddler, but once the final reveal happened, without any spoilers, I was just like, okay. It's very by the numbers, in my opinion. Like that, they could have done more with that. Yeah, and for that, I was a little disappointed. So I am, however, very much. I like. You can almost see what exactly the writer of this movie, Matt Reeves. You could see what he had in mind with the plot in this. All right. Look, full on spoiler. I'm not going to give it all away, but let's just say that he had QAnon in mind. It appears to me that he basically was trying to make the Riddler the QAnon leader, which makes sense in the era that it was created. Unfortunately, it seems like it was written in a moment where it was really relevant, and that time has passed. And therefore, at this point, there's not as much chatter about QAnon. It's still on the 24-hour news cycles if you're a news junkie. But if you're paying attention to everything else in the world, like Russia and other stuff, then the QAnon thing is kind of faded to the background, which kind of makes this movie less prevalent. Because I think that was the goal, was to kind of merge this villain with the reality of the existence of the QAnon. Ty, does that sound like it makes sense to you?
Yes. I think ultimately that you're both right. There were, I mean, I'm not saying this was a perfect movie. I'm saying this was a one of the better renditions of Batman that I've seen. I think it was a very easy fix, and I'm not sure why Matt Reeves made it so difficult, but the way that he tied the Riddler into his reasoning for feeling like he needed to get revenge on Gotham didn't make sense. Like if you would have made the connection more personal from a maybe blood standpoint, and said like, oh, that was my, or that, that was my, something like that,
Right.
as opposed to saying, oh, I was at this place that you said you were gonna fix, but you never did, and so I don't,
Right.
I feel like everybody's got to die now. Like that part didn't make, and that would part that even, I mean, I guess it's trying to show the psychopath side, but it still didn't make any sense. And again, you made a very good point about the end of the movie when it came down to the culmination and how it culminated. It didn't, that part as well was like, so your plan is to do this, and
Right.
this is what you got
Right.
as a backup to
Right.
what you just did. Yeah, it
Right.
just didn't, that part didn't make any sense for me.
His
But
plan B should have been his plan A. His plan B was way better than
the plan B would have made more sense. The plan B definitely would have made more sense.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a strong hand, my friend.
Yeah. Well, look, at the end of the day, man, I didn't think that the Riddler's depiction was bad. I enjoyed him being it was like they took the Riddler and sprinkled in some Bane, you know what I'm saying? And then, with a slice or a couple of drops of Joker, and this is what we ended up with. And I didn't mind it. I liked the remixed version, but I thought that he was so smart to be so stupid at the same time, right? Like, I mean, he laid a lot of really dope plots, and he made some, like, some of the things he did with some of the body parts and all of that stuff. I thought that was really brilliant. But then to just go and sit at a counter, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, it was.
Vince, let me help you. I don't know that he's stupid. Now that part, I don't know that part, because without me telling everybody what happened, do we know for sure that he's caught?
Oh, okay. I see where you're going. Okay. All right.
So
Fair
I don't
enough.
know that he's that stupid as you may think him to be.
Fair enough. That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? So
My
but we'll have to
question
wait
is-
and see.
My question is like the ending. You know what I'm saying? Like who was next to him?
Yeah,
What?
that's a question that we wanna save for after the show.
Yeah, that's a spoiler alert.
Yeah,
I didn't even say anything. I just said at the end he was next to him.
Get ready,
I'm not
Lisa.
trying to
Here it
spoil
comes.
but after Han Solo dies, like, did he did they
Done with
cremate
y'all.
him, or was
I'm done with y'all. Whatever.
was-
So be it.
He loved. All right. Well, see, speaking of spoilers, all right, I'll give you this much. All right, we don't want to spoil the end of the movie, but I will give you this much. I will spoil the beginning of it, and I will do this without any without even feeling bad about it. Can we at least look? Look. Sorry, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Tyrone, I know you haven't seen it yet, but look,
I've already forgiven you.
Okay,
Don't
thank
forget.
you.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
forgave you
spoil the
earlier.
first few minutes of the movie. I'm gonna keep it real. What was Tim Drake doing in this movie?
Right? Oh my God! Thank
what
you.
was
I
that?
literally screamed. I was like, Tim Drake, what the fuck?
Was he playing Tim Drake?
No.
We don't know.
No.
We don't know.
No.
It don't make
We
no
don't know.
sense because they
It
got a
don't.
Bruce Wayne in Titans,
And,
so it's
and
not the same
and-
universe.
can we just say that there were so many moments where they had like set up for Robin trying to, like for there to be the Robin?
Yes.
That's all I have to say
Yes.
about this.
Yes. Agreed. Yes. I see exactly what you're saying.
So
too.
many
And
moments. I'm like,
multiple
Yes.
characters.
right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So we can almost see like the Robin in part 2 already.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Multiple Robins, dare I say?
Yep.
we need
if
Robin.
they
We
wanted
haven't had a Robin in a Batman movie in a really long time, and a young Robin at that. I think that
Well,
we need Robin.
Okay. Well, let's not forget that
We had Chris O'Donnell. That's it.
No.
And he
Well,
was Nightwing more than a Robin.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. In the Dark Knight Rises, we got a Robin. You know what I'm saying?
I hated that.
Barely.
I hated
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
it was.
Oh,
It was.
man.
It was.
Joseph
and I-
Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
love
was-
Joseph. I think he killed
Yeah.
his role. I think that I think that was actually. I liked him as a character. I didn't like that they tried to make him Robin. And I didn't
Robin.
like the way that they tried to make him Robin. Like, oh, his middle name
Please,
is Robin.
please use your real name. Yeah, no.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Hell
saying?
out of here.
Like, come on, give me a break. But I mean, at
If you
least
don't
it
go back
wasn't.
and say things I hate about you.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is what if you're really talking about the trash on screen. When your Robin has nipples like this, I mean, what do you need any other Robin for? By the way, if I ever get a super armored suit, it will definitely have my areola imprinted on the outside of it, so I can make sure that is well defined.
I don't think you have a choice.
Tell him.
We have our TikTok moments for the day.
Oh man,
yeah, man. But I didn't mind the depiction of the Riddler. I thought he was cool. I just didn't think that he executed everything appropriately. But I really want to know what was the purpose. DC knew what they were doing. They knew that they knew that those of us who are watching Titans were going to see Tim Drake's character, and we're going to be like, yo, it's Tim Drake. It's Tim Drake. You know what I'm saying? And at first I'm like, oh shit, they're doing a crossover from the Titans universe into Gotham, because in Titans it's not even based in, I mean, it was in one season, the last season it was based in Gotham, but it's based in San Fran. So it's not like Gotham and Titans are unified. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but this whole last season was all based in Gotham.
It was all in Gotham, and man, this Tim Drake is such a pussy, bro. My God,
man, he's
like
the worst.
My God,
he's
like
the worst, man.
Yeah,
I don't want to know who's his mother or father. I feel like they got to be an executive because to put him in any of these, he's terrible. And I mean, he didn't stop being terrible in this movie. Right. It was like, so you bring him to be more terrible than the last time we saw, because I wasn't like, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't like, oh my God, it's Tim Drake. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
That's literally.
It was literally like, I was like, why?
It's like, who invited
do y'all
you?
keep bringing him into this? Like,
nobody wants you here.
You can't sit with us.
Whose child is this that keeps playing in the movie? Like, please get your child, ma'am. Like, it was like really like that, man. It's never a positive thing when we see his face. As a matter of fact, I hate his face. I'm like that. I'm at that point. Whenever I see him show up in anything, I'm like, "What are you doing here? Like, why are you here?"
He's really bad. Like, he's really
terrible.
bad.
Well, I mean, he's bad, terrible. But why? I'm just trying to understand. Of all of the characters in the Titans universe, of all of the characters in the DC universe, you know, they could have used Jane from Doom Patrol. Or they could have used, you know, like I mean, obviously I'm biased because that's like my favorite character in that HBO Max series. But I just don't understand. Like, but I guess I do understand, because remember his whole plight was, I'm gonna be the new Robin. I'm gonna be Robin, man. I'm gonna be Robin. Hey, what are you guys doing over there? I don't have any armor, and I'm gonna come and I'm gonna investigate. Oh no, you shot me. I'm dying. Oh my God, I'm in the afterlife with Hawk. Oh my God, I'm back, and I'm still Robin, and I have armor. And it's like, all right, man. And now you're going to
Titans progressively disappoints me more and more every time. I want to give Titans a chance. I love the idea of Titans, and it started off interesting enough in the very first season, and I kept on thinking, you know what, the next episode is going to get better. The next episode is going to get better. 3 or 4 seasons later, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why am I still watching this show?
Basically,
why am I still watching this? Why is Bruce Wayne 137 years old? I'm sick of this.
So just so y'all know, that kid is on IMDb, and he's credited as Train Gang Young Member.
Oh,
Train Gang Young Member.
So
he doesn't have a name in the thing, so who knows?
That's an acronym for Tim Drake.
Yeah.
It happened. So you're trying to tell me that DC cast this guy and was unaware that they already had him in another show?
No,
he just kept he was like, shh.
No, DC was like, I'm gonna try this Marvel Easter egg shit and see if these people catch on to this.
Well, they might be being coy, or it might be what Ty said, where it's like, this is somebody's son, and they're like, you want to be in this movie?
Yeah. Please put my son in. You know, he's got a budding career. But you know what? You know what's so crazy about everything you said, Vinny? Even the example you gave of him, he only has one line in the movie, y'all.
Right.
It's hey. Hey, no.
Did he nail it?
That's his line in the movie.
No, he didn't nail it.
No. Wait till you see it. We're laughing.
That's the line.
He was the same pussy ass nigga he wasn't.
Hey, no.
Yep.
Listen, I can do it too, DC. I just bring me in the next movie, and how do the hey know? Like,
Yo, but you ain't giving him credit for his facial expressions when he's on the train. He's like, you know what I'm saying?
With the half face,
his
with the half
that-
face.
that's his. I think that's his normal
With the-
face. That's probably why I hate it so much. That's his normal resting face. Like that's just
resting
That's it.
bitch.
like I'm telling you, bro. I don't know about you, but soon as I saw him on the subway, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I literally was in the movie.
Go
like that.
home.
Why?
Go home, baby.
Why?
And it
You
sucks.
got your whole life ahead of you.
Let me say this. It sucks that I felt that way. I truly hate that, because if I can channel my inner Stephanie Ray, like, to be one of the few people of color in this script or in the cast, it sucks that he is representing like this. And it's not even his fault to an extent. It's the character he's playing. It's not him. I saw him in some other shows, and he's not a bad actor. All right. It's not the guy himself. It's who they have him playing. And so I just want to, not throw all the hatred on him as a person, but the Robin-esque character that they have him playing, I believe, is trash. I mean, I like freaking Red Helmet.
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Red helmet.
I like the Red Hood version of Batman, Jason, more than I like Tim Drake, and it has nothing to do with his orientation or anything like that. It's just the depiction of him in the comics. As you see the comics, boyfriend or not, he's a badass. You know what I'm saying? So don't give me this bullshit hatred. So I mean, you want the characters depicted by the people of color to be dope as hell. I mean, look, Zoe did her thing. All right, Zoe held it down, even though, like, both of her parents are half black and half white, which makes her, I guess, a quarter black. I don't know.
Jeffrey Wright held it down.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright did this thing, and I mean, to DC's credit, I see what they tried to do. They tried to put a woman of power in the fray here, so we did get a black mayor out of it. Oh, I mean, we may or may not get a black. Fuck.
Yeah, you ruined that.
Should have married. Should have married.
First
You guys
spoiler.
just sit on that.
Alrighty. Yeah.
Mayor-elect.
That was the one thing that I was actually looking forward to seeing, is the politics of Gotham City, and now you've completely ruined it for me. I don't even need to see this movie anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't like that she was bitching at Bruce Wayne. Like they even showed it in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. But she was like, "Yo, we know your family had a lot to do with philanthropy, and it doesn't look like you're doing enough." And she's absolutely right. Bruce Wayne ain't doing shit in this movie.
Yeah.
You don't need to be Batman. At the end of the day, just donate. Just give to a charitable cause. You can solve a lot of Gotham's problems with your money, man. You don't have to whoop their asses. You don't got to do that.
Well, I mean, if I may, that's kind of the theme of this movie, though, right? Like, that they can't, right? I mean, what did Catwoman say? She says, Gotham's not going to change. You know what I'm saying? Look, it don't matter. It's been the same since the Waynes were around. It's the same now. It's going to be the same even after it turns into this shit fest of a Batman that it seems like it's about to, with whomever that is in Arkham. And there are a few things that we did that were new about this Batman movie. This is the first time we have an on-screen Falcone. So one time for that. I do want to say that I am more a fan of the Gotham version of Falcone. I'm just going to keep it real. All right. And I love John Turturro, especially in some of the movies that I've seen over the years. But I personally wasn't a fan of this casting, and it's nothing against him. I think I just was jaded by the fact that the Falcone from the Gotham series was so ruthless, so dope, so emotionless, so cold, and able to deliver those lines and convince me legit that he was going to kill whoever got in his way. I kind of admired that one a little more. But we did get an on-screen Falcone. We did get a more ruthless. I don't know if it's more ruthless or not, but we got a version of the Penguin that was a version of the Penguin. All right, props to the makeup artist. Go ahead, MUA. I see you. The team that put this outfit together, this costume, great. You can damn near not even recognize Colin Farrell, who I still believe is one of the most underrated actors of our time, despite him being an asshole behind the scenes and off camera. When he's on screen, that dude gives his all. And I think he doesn't get enough credit for it, but maybe that's what happens when you are, when you have
tarnish
issues
your
with
reputation.
women. Yeah. You know, anytime you have issues with women and it comes out, I mean, as long as it's, you know, completely disrespectful, like you're gonna lose a lot of shine. What's up, Kev?
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you.
Okay, so I'm not mad at it, although I will say that the Danny DeVito version of the Penguin was a lot more true to the comic book. All right, I don't know why they like. Do we know why Oswald Cobblepot was called the Penguin in the first place? Does everybody know? It's because he's deformed. All right, he doesn't have fingers like us, right? Like he's got he's got hands like this. All right, his feet are all fucked up. All right, he is an orphan because of that. His parents was like, "Ew."
He's Kim Drake.
Oh my God! Can we take it back? Is it too late? Do we still have the receipt? So yeah, his parents, and that's a whole storyline in itself. But I thought that Penguin was a little more true to the comic book character Penguin. With his deformities, this Penguin is just a gangster. You know, he's Vito Corleone's member. Right. I mean, there was a lot of references in this movie. I feel like they're trying to make this Batman into like a mob movie. You know, with detectives in it. It really felt like for a little while it felt like The Untouchables. You know, and this was like Al Capone type of movie, man. So
the problem with the villains in this movie is they don't have hats. You got to give the Riddler his derby. You got to give the Penguin his top hat.
Yeah.
That's why we don't like it. These niggas don't have hats.
Yeah, it's not a classic.
Every good Batman villain got a hat.
That's true. That's true. The Riddler didn't have his cane. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he don't got a derby.
He didn't have his little like glass eye and everything, looking like the banker and shit. You know?
Yeah. Well, what's that called? That the Monopoly man has a monocle. Monocle.
You're right. Yeah. They didn't have their accessories. They
don't have hats. You can't appreciate a Batman villain if you don't got a hat.
I think that's a good point. I'm a hat man myself, so I respect the hat. But I mean, the further they get away from the comic version, the one that I read, you know, and the further they get away from the original Batman animated series, which some have dubbed as canon. The further I think I am from digging it as much, I don't know, but I don't think the movie was as bad. But I go ahead, Tyrone.
Well, I was just going to say this in reference to the Penguin. You know, HBO Max has a series coming out for the Penguin, the spinoff series for the Penguin, which I think will be more of a developmental series for Penguin. This version of Penguin is not the boss per se.
Yeah,
that Penguin is in the the Batman the original Batman movies. He's more of an underling who's waiting for his opportunity to become the boss type deal. So I think I'm with you with the whole. I think they went a little bit too far with the whole Italian mob version of Penguin, where he's more of a mobster than just an underling that is waiting for that opportunity. I didn't like that part. I thought they went a little bit too far with it. But I'm interested to see the developmental series for Penguin and see where that takes, because at some point you may get an instance where he becomes deformed or they do something to him that causes him these deformities. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Am I the only one on here who, for whatever reason it may be, really took to the Gotham version of Penguin? That was played by I think a dude named Robin something, like Robin.
Loved him.
Yeah, he did a great job.
This dude killed it. I loved it. I loved Jada Pinkett was oh shit, what was Jada Pinkett's name? Fuck. Oh my god. Dan, where's Stephanie for the research? Somebody.
Man.
I got you. Give me a sec.
But Jada Pinkett's character, basically, the Penguin was her. Bless you. The Jada Pinkett Fish Mooney. Oh, Fish Mooney,
Fish
bro.
Mooney, yeah, fish.
Jada Pinkett's character was, she scooped her eye out, bro. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yo, it was like, we're gonna take your eye. It was like, she was like, no, you won't. I'll take my eye. It was like, oh my God, you bitch, you nasty. Ew. You know what I'm saying? Jada Pinkett was so, and so her underling was this version of Penguin, but she kept going away, coming back, appearing and going away. She was dead, she wasn't dead, and then this Penguin took over the ranks of her and killed it. I love this Penguin. I mean, he ended up having a crush on the Riddler. That was a whole different plot line. And by the way, the Riddler in Gotham deserves some credit too, because he Gotham awesome. Series, let's just put this in, was dope as fuck. Like start to finish. Bruce Wayne, Alfred,
Selena Kyle.
Yep.
Selena was
I'll take my lashes. I've never seen any of the Gothams. I didn't watch it.
Oh,
yeah, I know. Kill me. Kill me
let
now.
me tell you something. Well, listen, you're in for a treat. If you have binge time, Gotham is worth the series. Binge. Like it is like before Watchmen, Gotham was my favorite on-screen series.
Really?
For DC. Yep. For DC. But I mean, it kills any of the CW shows. It's violent.
Yeah, I watched all of the Arrowverse. I was up to date on that. I didn't watch Gotham because I'm such a big Batman Bruce Wayne fan, and I didn't think that they were going to represent Bruce Wayne enough. I thought, because I know the show is based around Jim Gordon, right? It's mainly about Jim Gordon. No?
He is the main. He is kind of like the center, the character that it is. He does carry the series. Yes, that is true. Okay. It is centered around him, so to speak, but it's not like he's the only main character. He's one of the main characters. They spread that love around enough so that it's not just always. But I will say, the dude that played Jim Gordon killed it. Like I'm trying. Listen.
Everybody.
Jim Gordon is he is really, 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 really good at Jim Gordon. Bullock. Okay. I wasn't, I kind of like the Bullock from the animated series, so I wasn't upset with the depiction of Bullock, especially because I'm a fan of the dude that played him in some of the other shows that he's been in. I thought that he did a good job. The long hair, I could have probably did without, but I liked this version of Jim Gordon in Gotham was phenomenal. Like, I mean, damn near, I think that they should start making.
Batman just rode by. Y'all hear that
shit? Either that or yawned. Like I was like, "What the hell is going on?" Wow. But good job. I think that we might need to start putting this into the blurred verse. Let me get my on cam real quick. Hey, world. Hey, you know what? There's a lot of award shows out there. There's the Academy Awards. There's Emmys, Golden Globes. There's even Grammys for music and stuff. You know what? I heard that there's sports awards at the ESPYs. I don't know about it, but I've heard about it. There's gamer awards. You know what I think it might be time for? It might be time for the Blurred Awards. I think we need to go ahead and compose a Blurred Award show where we can actually do what they do, but we get to pick the folks that deserve to get credit that haven't gotten it, such as these characters we just listed. Because I don't know. I feel like they're not getting the play that they should be getting. So, hey, let's get to it. Hollywood, we coming for you. Look out, because we're not too far away. I'm right over here in Florida, and you ain't nothing but a 3-day drive from if we're taking Tylene, because he doesn't fly. Anyway, so I think that that's something that we could think. I think that like a nerd, like a show, an award show centered around just nerdy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that may be, anime, superhero characters, sci-fi. I think that G4 would have been perfect for this when G4 was on TV. I think it's back. I think it's on YouTube now. I think G4 is on YouTube.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that, man. We should have something like that. But anyway, I just think that if Stephanie was here, not only would she hate every aspect of this conversation because she hates Batman with a vengeance, pun intended, but she would also point out the overwhelming absence of dark-skinned Black representation in this movie, of which I feel compelled to bring up as well. And this is something that DC is constantly is dropping the ball on. All right, we can say the same thing about Justice League, same thing about Batman and Robin, and we darn near, if it wasn't for Io from Wakanda, could say the same thing about Wonder Woman. So DC, we see that you're trying to feed us, breadcrumbs, but we like steak and we like it well done. So just keep that in mind. All right. We
Speak for
do
yourself.
need to be. Well,
I was raised around the whites. I want my medium rare ribeye. I was with you up until then.
I am speaking for myself, but yeah, man. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. We're glad that there's a nice dark chocolate sister that's at the helm here. So we hopefully she gets more of a role in coming in the days to come. But yeah, in some of the main roles, they can be main roles too, and no shade against Zoe because I do think she killed it. But I'm just saying, there's room there. So let's not forget about that. All right, let's not forget about that. And lastly, to kind of cap off the Batman talk and to go into Raised by Wolves, which I'm so excited to talk about, especially since Kevin isn't into it and we get to put him on. I do want to say that I still think that the ball was dropped here on the villainry because there was really only one main villain, and that was obviously the Riddler. I still, and y'all let me know your thoughts. I still, of course, and I'm going to repeat myself over and over again, I still literally think that one of the most slept on villains that the Batman has in his universe is Mr. Freeze. I will say it over and over and over again. Mr. Freeze's plot line is one of the most attractive for a Hollywood cinematic series. I mean, it doesn't even have to be Batman centric. Mr. Freeze himself in a Joker-esque style type of motion picture would kill because he is fighting for the affection and life of his wife. It is a romantic love story. It is a freak show in that he has to be in sub-zero temperatures at all times and has a gun that puts you in sub-zero temperatures whenever he feels like it. But he's not committing crimes because he wants money or wants that or wants the city to burn or because he wants to, Batman needs a greater villain. He just wants his wife to come back to life. He's just a mad scientist, madly in love with the wife that was taken away from illness, and all he wants to do is get her to come. What storyline is more gripping than that? Women will flood this movie. Like, this will make women DC fans. I'm trying to tell y'all, if y'all need me and Bad Ty to come out to Hollywood and write this movie for y'all, we will. All right, and we'll have Tyrone in for the jokes and Yaz for the shirts.
Well, Vince, just so you know, Matt Reeves shares your sentiment about Mr. Freeze, and he has been on record as saying that he does want to do a Mr. Freeze movie that is with a dumbed down version of Mr. Freeze. He doesn't want any of he wants to distance himself as far away from the Arnold Schwarzenegger version that we saw on screen in the only live action version of Mr. Freeze we've seen live cinematic version of Mr. Freeze that we've seen. So I think that could be on the horizon, because one of the things that is very important, and this is why I think it's very important, how we use our verbiage in describing this movie, is because it wasn't terrible. I don't want anybody at all to think that this movie was bad. So if the fanfare continues to rise about this Batman version, then what that does is it makes Matt Reeves more more of an asset to DC, to where they utilize him more. So if this gentleman is saying that he wants to do a Mr. Freeze movie, and we want him to do a Mr. Freeze movie. You know what I'm saying? We want a lot of the other characters that have not yet reached the spotlight to possibly get get on the big screen. Clayface would be another guy that I wouldn't mind seeing a on screen movie with. I said this on Multiverse. Solomon Grundy is
Yes,
one of those
Solomon
people.
Grundy.
Like,
Yes.
listen, like, look, nobody has all these years, no one has done a Solomon Grundy
Right.
movie. Like,
Right.
you want to talk about, you could make this shit scary as fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot to really tap into, but we need someone who is dedicated to really delving into the universe and continuing to build on these characters. We don't want a one-hit Matt Reeves wonder to do the Batman movie and then say, you know what, I got so much backlash and so much. I'm turned off by the idea of doing it. We want him to use his creative juices and create this world and continue to build on this world that he started with this Batman movie.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I agree. And I think that if Matt Reeves is interested in doing a Mr. Freeze, one thing that I did, again, and I repeat myself, I did enjoy the fact that this Batman was rooted in a hard set of reality. Like, he does not by any means like land on his feet. Like, he is not graceful at all in this shit. Like, he is clearly a novice. He does not have this one punch, knock everybody out. Like, he listen. This Batman went through it, bro, and it shows that he's trying to develop himself. I do take issue with this fact you said he didn't have a Batcave. I think they tried to give us a version of the Batcave. It just wasn't like, the Batcave that we're used to seeing. Everything was kind of like like we've been saying in its infancy, entry level type. But I'm here for it. Listen, again, Solomon Grundy, Grodd. All right, bro. Like, there are some characters. We got to see King Shark in Suicide Squad, which was I thought was really good. And I know Ty is real caught up on the Weasel getting his own movie.
Yes. That just for the walk alone. I just need that walk.
I was
man.
just about to say,
I need that walk. I need that walk. If I can get that walk, I'm here for it,
the Weasel. But yeah, man. Before we step off of this, let me just state this fact. Were you all aware of what I read in an article? Was that Matt Reeves originally did not peg Mr.
Pattinson,
Robert Pattinson, for his Batman. He actually picked the guy that some of y'all, do y'all know? I mean, I don't know if y'all are familiar with this guy or not, but are you familiar with this? The fact that he didn't pick him?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware.
It was supposed to be this dude on the right.
No. This dude. This is Matt. Well, this is supposed to be. This is Matt Reeves.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Matt.
I don't know.
All
Maybe
right.
I was behind the slide or something.
Yeah.
No. And
that's Matt Reeves. Which he looks like Edward
I thought that was Ben
Norton Jr.
Affleck.
He looks like Edward Norton Jr.
Stupid. Right. Yeah, Ben Affleck, if he could. No, he. This is the guy that Batman. This is who Batman was supposed to be, or who they wanted him.
Hank McCoy.
Who Matt Reeves wanted him to be. Yes, he wanted him to be. He was Hank McCoy in the X-Men movies. Nicholas Hoult is his name. He was in Jack the Giant Slayer. He also played in he's been in a few things. But this is who Matt Reeves wanted to cast as the Batman, but the industry was like, no. We want Mr. Robert Pattinson. And so there was some clashing on set as a result. You can imagine you're sitting there working with the guy who didn't want you in the film, but fortunately it was Robert Pattinson himself who lobbied to get Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. So if it wasn't for Robert Pattinson, Catwoman would have been somebody else. And they did a screen test, and they learned, and in that screen test, that Zoe and Robert had really good chemistry, which, dare I say, did translate very well to the big screen. That was one thing I will say about this is I really, and I mean this in all sincerity, I really liked the sexual tension between Batman and Catwoman. That is one thing that they kept true to the comics. They kept true even to the Batman 60s series. There was always some pent up sexual tension between Selena Kyle, Bruce Wayne, Batman, Catwoman, even in Batman Returns. It wasn't like Batman and Dark Knight Rises where she's kind of like a protege. Like there was always like this, you know, Batman was kind of like drawn to her, and Catwoman was always like flirting with him, but not necessarily. And we kind of know that the Black Cat, all right, in Spider-Man, played by Felicia Hardy, is based on Catwoman. I mean, look, let's call a spade a spade. We know Marvel steals, and we love them for it. So, it is what it is. But yeah, that's basically what you see. That whole sexy vibe, that whole flying from buildings, and you know, being a sidekick, but not necessarily being a hero. That anti-hero element. I failed. Many. I don't know if they didn't hit it already, but I'd say that's the case. So we almost didn't have Robert Pattinson. We almost had Beast as Batman, which I think it wouldn't have been that bad. I don't know. We might have liked him more. I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
All these white dudes with blue eyes are the same nigga to me. I don't care. I don't care. You white. I've seen you 1,000 times. I know who you are.
Although he's a good actor, he's not Robert Pattinson. He's not like I've seen him some of his stuff, and he's not a bad actor at all. I won't sit here and say he's a bad actor, but I think Robert Pattinson brings a certain dynamic to every role that he's in, and I think we spoke about this prior to the movie coming out. Robert Pattinson in pretty much everything I've seen him in has done a superb job. I mean, you say what you want to say about the Twilight series, but without him in it, it's without Edward, that version of Edward, it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like, and I've seen him in a lot of different what was the one, water for elephants, or water to elephants, or something like that. That was a really, really good movie. He acted superbly in that. So and then Tenet, one of the movies that I really didn't like as a movie, but his role in it, he killed it again.
That preacher role too.
Yeah. So
I love Twilight.
Yeah. Wait.
I love them all 5 movies, part 1 and part 2, Breaking Dawn. I love them.
He's so comfortable saying that. You know what I mean?
I love them.
He's like, I love Twilight. Like,
love them. After the
face.
first Twilight, I went and got the book because I was so interested in seeing what was going to happen next. I got New Moon on my bookshelf right now. Robert Pattinson was everything to me.
Okay.
Was that before or after you had your vagina installed?
So obviously you were Team Edward.
I'm going through a transition right now, all right? And I don't feel comfortable.
You were Team Edward.
With pronouns
are gathering.
Yo, look.
I love Twilight.
I didn't read the books, but I liked the first 2 Twilight. It was after the wolves and the vampires started to join teams against the bigger vampires, and I was like, all right, I need the wolves and vampires to fight. No unity in my book. All right, I'm not playing this. I have a dream where one day vampires and werewolves. I'm not. I'm not.
You know something with Martin Luther King of the underworld? That's not cool, man.
Yeah, because that's the same thing that happened in Underworld. Yeah, so you didn't like the Underworld series either?
No, hold on. No. That's not what happened in Underworld. Okay, there was a hybrid. Okay, of which they had to
a combination of a vampire and a werewolf.
Yes, but the Lycans and the werewolves. Okay, all right. Maybe you're right. All right, maybe they did. maybe they did. All right. So, all right. Maybe you're right. It was done better than it was in Twilight. There was no flying through the woods and shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, we just had Kate Beckinsale in Underworld, and
yes,
fun to look at.
And she was a badass too. Like, let's give her credit. Not only was she fucking sexy, okay, but she was a badass. Kate Beckinsale is a fine ass white girl. Oh my god, her eyes and just like, yeah.
I think Kate Beckinsale will have a Catwoman. Like, yo, just for the leather suit. I'm not even gonna lie. Like Kate Beckinsale in Underworld in that leather suit when she flips off that building and lands on her knee. I was like, yeah, I love you.
Look at you trying to steal roles from black women, man. Not cool.
That's what he does. Now, well, hold on. I'm not gonna lie. I something's happening right now, and I don't know exactly what it is, and I'm just going to risk the show going a whole left field.
No.
But there's somebody in our studio. I don't even know who this is. I don't know what's going on right now. There's a young lady
Stranger danger.
popped up. I didn't send her the link. I don't know what's going on. We've been hacked, and somebody is watching. Toya,
What's up?
Toya, what? How did you get this number?
Don't worry about it. Okay, I have connections. Okay.
Okay. Well, what's up, Toya? All right. Well, everybody, this is a friend of mine, Toya.
Hi guys.
And I'm here, Jamaican way I know.
Yeah, man. Big up on yourself. Well.
Yes, and I've never talked to her about anything nerdy at all. So I'm just
That's
a little.
because he doesn't rate me.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. My sorry. Did you see Batman, Toya?
Not yet. I haven't, but I love Batman.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, give it up for Toya, everybody. She's
I'm talking about the new
hate
one.
is
I've
real.
seen all the other episodes.
Oh, you have? Okay,
Yes,
okay, cool.
I have. And
Well,
I watched Star Treks and all of that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
sir.
you just happen to be
Okay.
pulling up at the right time. Yo, yes, Minnie. Yes, Minnie. Minnie, I dub you the Chamber of Comments. You are the head of the commentary, my friend. I'm going to call you after this, and I have a new role for you, bro. She said, "No, let's see Batman, but see the Batman over there, sir. You know, yeah, say Batman, not dressed like gal. You know, boy, knows that I'm need a weird drop, Cal." Okay, well, listen. I don't know why you're here, but God works in mysterious ways, right? So I'm glad you're here. It's good to see you. It looks lonely where you are. It looks like you're have a halo over your head.
I'm at work.
I don't know if that building is abandoned. I know it's but yeah, check it out. We were just about to jump off the Batman wagon, and we only got about 28 minutes to be exact left. And I wanted to use some of this time to talk about some of the shows that we follow. Real quickly, want to go into Raised by Wolves, which is a show I'm sure you don't watch and Kevin doesn't watch. It's an acquired taste.
So
Uh-oh.
look at you being presumptuous right now. I do watch it. I watched the first.
You watch Raised by Wolves?
Get
I
him.
watched the first episode of it. Thank you very much, and I liked it. But I just don't have HBO. So if you guys have any, I could borrow your password. I would
You can borrow Kevin's password. By all means. Kevin supplies the whole Kissimmee with his stuff, man. Now, yes, hook it up. yes, got it all. Well, Raised by Wolves. Okay, so let's talk about Raised by Wolves, and then we'll get into. Before we go, I just want to breach the subject of the fact that Picard is out right now. The new season of Picard. I'm a huge Trekkie. I don't know which one to call myself. I'm a Star Trek fanatic. Watched them all except for the Enterprise. I just couldn't do the Scott Bakula. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I can't go backwards and revert in Star Trek. I need the tech to be forward moving. But we'll talk about that before we go. Right now, I definitely want to get into this Raised by Wolves. This is basically what started this whole show. I mean, when I say the show, I mean like the New Blurred Order. This basically came from me and a young man named Ty Lean talking about Raised by Wolves for hours on end on the phone, like over the whole summer, and like our wives would hear us talking in the background, and mine came to me, was like, I don't know what y'all talk about, but y'all, I'm interested. And she's not into this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when she was like, yo, y'all should think about doing like, you know, a podcast. I talked to Ty about it. He was like, yo, I don't really know. You know what I mean? I ain't really all out there like that. You know what I mean? You know, I don't got social media. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, whatever. But eventually we was able to convince. Yo, we did like 100 episodes. Tyrone, we did like 100 episodes. All right, really on Zoom. We recorded them. And I was like, yo, man, let's do live. He's like, yo, I ain't ready. Yeah, I mean, I ain't like you. You know what I mean? You be out there all in front of people and all that. I don't be out there like that. And I was like, man, come on, man.
New York.
Yeah,
anyway.
He's from New York.
He's from New York.
Nah, I'm from Jersey.
Yeah, he's from Jersey.
He's from New York.
I'm not from New York. Hell no. I'm far from it.
I'm from New York.
You know what? Yeah, everybody on this panel is from New York but me. To put it like that. Yeah, I rep St. Louis, baby. Al, what time for 314? Everybody up there. Now check it out. Raised by Wolves, this most recent episode, bro, was pretty monumental in my opinion. Just to kind of get straight to the meat and potatoes. Spoilers coming. So if you ain't been watching it, it is. Oh, you know what? No, let's not do that. Nah, let's do this. Let's bring Kevin into the fold. Because Tyrone, you caught up?
I'm almost finished with the most recent episode.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to finish it, but I don't mind spoilers.
Yeah, you caught up?
Yeah.
Talim?
Of course.
Okay. All right. So I would like to introduce you guys, since you all haven't been watching and aren't familiar with it, to Raised by Wolves. Raised by Wolves is a show, and anybody else watching or listening, by the way, shout out to our to the folks that are listening. I saw that we had some new downloads in our iHeartMedia and in our Amazon this week. So thank y'all very much. We're gaining on that. And welcome to anybody that's joining us from the TikTok following. I did post it this morning on TikTok. TikTok is full of real people. All this time I thought it was just elementary school students. And there's actually people there. You know what I'm saying? And Ben Brainerd.
Congratulations. I saw your blow up on there. I think over 1 million views on one of the Congratulations.
Nice.
We're doing decent on TikTok. We up to 1.5 million views. We will probably hit 100,000 followers this week. And folks are already turning up to shows. They're real people. Like, I'm like, holy shit, like you exist? That's crazy. You know, it's funny to watch the comments too. But in this particular show, Kevin, since you're the only one who is not familiar with it, what we are watching is a show about an android, or rather I should say 2 androids that were sent from Earth to a planet called 22B. And on 22B, their objective is to raise these children in an atheist society, because the society that was on Earth, unfortunately, went to shit. All right, for lack of a better word saying it. And when it did, there's these androids, but they're not just friendly folks. They also, some of them, the ones that are called necromancers, have these unrealistic, these crazy powers that allow them to kill whoever is in their audio path by their voice. Just scream it out. Bam. Just destroy. I mean, if you just watch the opening sequence, the opening credit sequence, it's another one of those that I don't skip. It's not Peacemaker. It doesn't make me dance, but that the door the core,
Austin, every time he hears that, he's like, oh man, I gotta do something for an hour. Like, so
here's the beauty of this show, Kevin. It combines 2 things that I love, and that's the concept of theology and space and science fiction. All right.
Okay.
We're dealing with alien type androids, and by that I mean the Sigourney Weaver type, the ones that you basically they function like humans, and they're programmed to be parents. So they take these kids under their wings. Actually, at first it's just the mother and the father with kids that they brought as embryos that they raised. They fertilized, they birthed them, and the conditions on 22B were so dire that all of them. Spoiler alert! This is all in the first episode, so and we're on season 2, and now maybe all of them make it, maybe they all don't. But their purpose, their leader Campion sent them to create an atheist state, because in their opinion, it was the religious folks on Earth who fucked everything up because of their whole concept of religion and the idea that a deity should dictate what it is that you think, do, and how you conduct yourself. So they're out setting a new path to make it so that there's a whole planet that's just atheists, and the atheists are the ones with the dope tech, even though the religious folks steal it from them whenever they get it. Fast forward, now they're on a different planet. This is the father, which is one of the funniest things about this show, is the interactions between mother and father. All right, as you see, they're both blondes, and mother and father are technically in a relationship, but it's complicated, right? It's
they kind of killed him.
Spoiler alert! No. Well, that's not exactly what happened, but they're androids. So the fucked up part is that in this whole series, since they're programmed to be humanoids, they end up developing human emotions. So the the androids will, even though they're androids, then they're like, hey, father, I do believe that the children deserve sustenance today. Even though they have like this whole this robotic way of talking, they still have these like bitch tendencies. You know what I'm saying? like my father will be like, mother, I couldn't help but notice that you didn't rub my back this morning. Was it not pleasing to you to rub my back? Or is there someone else? Who was in your DMs this morning? You know, like the stuff they say is like human stuff, but it's through like Android. And so the basis of the show is like, amidst the first season, the religious folks, or what they call the Mithraics, right? Or we will call the Jesus freaks, right? The Mithraics, they come and they're now, oh shoot, was that season 1? That might have been season 2. That's season 2, isn't it?
Season 1. Season 1, the Mithraics do show up.
The Mithraics do. Oh yeah, they did show up. Okay. And the Mithraics show up. And the Mithraics are like, oh no. Y'all can't have this planet. This planet belongs to our god Saul. And the androids are like, no, there is no god, you stupid fuck. And we're raising a planet without gods. So why don't y'all leave us the fuck alone? And they're like, no. This is God's planet. Soul brought us here.
He loves it. Let us here.
So, and now it's like a clash over that. She gets pregnant by a signal from her ex-man to her creator, Campion, and ends up giving birth to a big snake. And that's where we are.
Okay.
I feel like you totally turned them off. Go ahead.
No. I'm super interested. I love theology and I love science fiction. So, and I love black people. I see there's black people in the show. So, yeah. I'm here for it.
There's a few blacks in the show. One of them is an android. The other one is
father is the black android.
Yeah, I'm here for black androids.
And he talks like this.
I wish Dragon Ball Z had a black android. I was mad. They need an Android 14. Never.
Oh, you didn't know?
He's got Mr. Rogers' demeanor. Just imagine a black man with Mr. Rogers' demeanor. Mother.
Okay.
Hello, children.
Like C-3PO, like straight up.
It's a lovely day.
The religions in the show, they're not our religions here. They're not it's not like Christianity, Islam. They have their own made up religions in the show. Correct?
I mean,
to an extent,
it's named something different,
right?
But
but they're
clearly see that there's
Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna quote Zora Neale Hurston and saying it's funny how gods always conduct themselves the same way as the humans that created them. But that's not my quote. That's Zora Neale Hurston. But yeah, there's it's the same concept. But the difference in this one is, Kevin, if you keep watching, you'll learn that there's one of these characters that begins to unveil the real source of this god and learns to an extent that it may or may not be a god, but a radio frequency signal that's being sent from somewhere into the heads and minds of the people on this planet that they think is the voice of a god. But one of them is like, wait a minute, I don't know if this is a god or if this is somebody that is able to, that figured out technologically how to transmit messages directly into our craniums. Sorry, I froze a little bit.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I love the logical debate over it. Like, yo, look, the freaking look. What's her name? Lamia. Yeah, Lamia, or Mother, as we like to call her. Mother basically legit was like, look, there's no God, you fuck. She's like, you idiot. Like, there's no God. Why don't y'all stop with this bullshit? Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, like, my dude Campion, the dude who made me, bro, we don't need none of that stuff, man. And look, if y'all God was so dope, how come he let me wipe y'all out with my voice? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's like the antithesis of godliness. Meanwhile, the people are like, well, we don't know if there's a God, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. And then there's that whole debate. So that's why we like it. And right now, it's really beginning to get a thick plot. And I say thick, and I mean thick, because listen, let's just say that grandmother ain't about that. Grandmother is here, and grandmother got some hips on her, homeboy. Sorry, please cancel me later. This young lady is like, Oh shit, Stephanie. Hey, what's up? Steph's in the comments. Hey, what's up, Steph? Hope you're well. I know you probably can't join us, but thanks for hopping, and hope you had a good trip.
Right.
But yeah, man. Shout out to Stephanie, everybody. She's at the airport. She's not really settled in, but she's sending love. Thank you. As always, it's always better when you're here, but we'll try to survive without you, Steph. Just get home safe. But yo, his soul is God in their universe. There's even one guy who's converted because he hears the voice of soul, and he's a diehard atheist. But after he hears soul, and this is a guy that's played. I don't know if you watched Vikings or not, but he was Ragnar in Vikings.
Yeah, that's Ragnar.
Yeah, did you watch Vikings?
Yeah, I started it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Ragnar. He's actually in the show. He starred, and dare I say, he is killing his role. Like
Excellent actor.
Really, really, really good in this part, and he makes it out. So that's what Raised by Wolves is. I mean, I've given you a lot of details, some spoilers, but I haven't even touched the surface of the complexity that goes on in this show. So I highly recommend it to you. I recommend Toya amidst your modeling and your flying and your tax preparation and all the things that you do so well, that you give this show the full binge session that it deserves. Now, I'm a little leery. Go ahead, bro.
2 seasons?
Yes.
It's two seasons.
Two
The
seasons,
second
yeah.
season just started. It's episodic, which means you can't binge it. It's weekly,
Okay.
and there are only 2 seasons left. Two shows left this season. So in 2 weeks we'll be discussing the season finale. But I can honestly say, without any harbor, I can say for a fact that I haven't seen anything like this ever. This show is one of a kind. I mean, yes, it uses some lore from other sci-fi shows. Sorry, I'm froze, but you can still hear me. Hopefully, it uses like white blood android, like just like from Alien. It uses a lot of of science fiction, normal, not necessarily having different the gravity limits.
I saw it from Ridley Scott, so they're going to draw a lot of similarities from the Alien franchise.
Yes, yes. You actually, now that you say that, because I do know it's Ridley Scott, but I haven't been peeping. When you watch this, you will clearly see the Ridley Scott and how he does his movies and his shows.
Okay.
So I haven't seen anything like it. I think it's worth a watch. And just because you haven't seen it, we will spare you the spoilers this week. I did want to come over here and talk about what happened this week because there was a major development that I
feel free. Don't mind me. I'm a guest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? It's okay. All right. So I really wanted to talk about the scene with the baby.
Right? Oh my god! Oh my! That was
baby.
the worst thing to watch before bed at like 2:00 this morning. That's all I have to say about that. Like I watched Batman, and then I came home and watched that, and I was like, the whole time I was just like cringing because I knew something was gonna fucking happen with the water, bro. Like I was just like, why the fuck are you there? What the fuck are you doing? I was so mad. You have no idea. I almost videoed it just so you could see my expression, bro. I was so pissed.
And just so you know why she's saying why are you there? The water on this planet is acid. It's made of it's acid. It's not water. It's more like it's just acid. It's an acid ocean.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why she was like, "What are you doing next to the acid?" And you're about to have a baby.
She's like on the cliff, like they're near the cliffs where all the water is just washing over. You know what I'm saying? Like just literally giving birth.
Yeah, bro. Basically, so to spoil it even more. All right, there's a young lady on this show who ends up she's raped. Yeah, Tempest gets raped by one of the criminals that they were. She had been raped by the time they got there. It wasn't like it happened while she was there. Like when she got to the planet, it had already happened, and she was pregnant with the baby. And for that, she hated the baby. She was like, "Fuck this baby. This baby is the spawn of Satan. I don't want shit to do with this baby." But unfortunately, I'm stuck on this planet that seems to be very pro-life because there's no abortion clinics here, and I just have to basically wait it out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry. Oh man, I'm gonna get hate mail. So she basically decides, all right, I'll have the fucking baby, whatever, but I don't want shit to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And so she finds somebody to take the baby, but then those group of folks see it, Toya. Those group of folks end up not being able to do it. Let's just put it like that. And so she ultimately ends up having the baby, but she goes to like one of the most dangerous places on this planet, which is right by the sea of acid. You know what I'm saying? Like she's by the sea of acid, bro, and she's giving birth to this child. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, that's her. She doesn't look like she looks a little more. This is, I think, season 1. She's a little more made up in the second season, but she bends over and, doggy style, gives birth, chews the umbilical cord in half, and then this acidic sea monster comes out and takes the baby and like puts the baby in his like chest chamber, and goes into the fucking ocean, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Yeah,
it was fucking crazy. It was crazy.
What the fuck happened? What was that shit? Yes, what the fuck happened?
Okay, so did you watch, like, you know how they show like the preview of the show for the next episode?
Yes.
Did you watch a little pre-clip like after it? Okay, so all right, well, after like it ends, you know what I'm saying, the credits end, it'll show you like the clip for the next episode or whatever. So in the clip for the next episode, only gives you like a couple seconds, but the clip for the next episode, that creature is under fucking water.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
The baby. Like, the baby didn't die when he just put the fucking baby in its chest. Like, that thing is living in fucking acid water. Like, it burned her hands, taking it out of her hands. Like, she tried to hold on to her baby with her life, bro. She's about to die for that kid. And, like, legit, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, that was crazy as hell.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what came after her, dog. Like, and just, like, stood up and shit. And those creatures were people. Like, that evolved from being on this planet so long. And, like, this motherfucker just, like, aliened, opened up his chest and put her baby in, like, a brand new newborn baby in his fucking chest, closed it up, and then jumped into the fucking water, bro. I'm like, that's the last shit you see for the credits. You're like, what the fuck? It was nuts.
Basically, the little joint jumped out of the ocean and was like, hey, let me see that baby right quick. All right, I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, oh, your baby's crying? I got this. Like, legit.
Yeah. You know, you seen 3 men and a baby? Yeah, well, this is like, acid creature and a baby. He's locked in the Tin Man's chest. And it's nuts. Tyrone, I thought that this was dope. Another thing that happened in this episode was we revealed that the dude I forget his name. The dude that Ragnar plays, he's the prophet or whatever.
Marcus.
Marcus. All right, Marcus. His girl, they reunite. The family is back together. You know what I'm saying? And so he's even like, what's his name? He's even calling them dad and mom now. But then they end up, mom is turned into a tree. This is mom.
Yeah, that was nuts. Like, oh my god.
So what happens at this point in the show for me? What's happening is like somebody's just like, I don't know. They're like, you know how in Scrabble you pick letters out of a bag and you're just like, what can we make out of this? I feel like that's how they're doing each episode now. They're just like, creature with a rib cage that opens and a baby goes in it. Like, it's like crazy shit like that. Like, I'm like, where y'all getting this stuff? Like every week there's like something new that we find out that's like a big game changer for this planet. Like, I guess we're probably gonna find out that there's like the ocean is not all acid, but there's just like a top layer of acid, and like under it is water. You can, they're gonna keep changing the rules on us. It shows like it's a fun show, it's an entertaining show, but it gets wild. Like it starts to get like really out there.
Yeah.
I think with any series over a long period of time has moments within the series where it just gets ridiculous. I don't think there's any series that we've ever seen that just consistently throughout the entire series, there's never an episode that we don't, complain about. I think that's definitely what's happening right now. And it tends to happen towards the end of a season, and then what they do is they kind of like try to save face with the season finale, and then you're like, it's like a way of roping you back in, and you're like, like now I gotta see that, now I gotta tune in the next season. This is something that is consistent, and I think it's just maybe a laziness when it comes to writing. Maybe it's just the fact that you're working so hard at making a series really pop, and maybe they expended all their energy on season 1. And so it's like, okay, we got to kind of recoup from all of the hard work we put in on season 1, and we'll just kind of ride the wave. So I definitely agree with Tyrone. There are instances where it's just there's some absurdities. You're just like, okay, this is kind of weird. It's kind of like that whole scene when that monster jumps out of the water and gets the baby. It's really retarded because the monster touches Tempest and burns her skin, but then has the same hands and touches the baby, and the baby's absolutely fine.
But the baby's in a blanket.
Just like,
yeah.
The baby was in what blanket? The baby was butt naked.
The
baby was butt naked when they put. That baby was butt naked. That baby was butt naked when he put it inside. When he put the baby. Yes.
But also that water did eat through many layers of steel.
Right. I was just about to say that, but also we don't know that, him touching Tempest could have wiped off he was already dripping when he came out of the water. So it could have, like his skin may not be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It could have absorbed it.
Listen, I hate to do this. I hate to do this, but unfortunately, if we want to replay the show, we gotta cut it short here. So let's talk some more in the after show. We're gonna do this in the group, guys. So go to the New Blurred Order group. We're gonna keep talking, and we'll even put the link in the title. So if you want to join us, you can join us live as well. Hopefully, Toya, feel free to join us as well. We get real. Look, the group is exclusive, so anything goes, and we don't need any of this stuff put in public because we discuss private stuff and do private stuff. Nothing weird, just inhale.
No nudity.
No nudity. No nudity.
Yeah, no nudity.
Bad man here.
No bad man.
THC type thing. So I'll say that we got a lot more. We're going to keep talking about that, and we're going to continue this talk and discuss the fact that Picard was released. And yes, that is Q for my trekkers. You're looking behind Picard. That is Q. It's fucking Q, bro. Q is in Star Trek. Q is back. Q is back, motherfucker. Q is here. Q, the reason why we even know who the Borg is here. Q, the dude that can snap his fingers and put you in a whole other time zone. Q is here, bitch. Q. 3 minutes. How much I love Q. Like, Q is like the dopest character in the Star Trek universe, bro. This dude is literally, he's like a genie without a lamp. He can do whatever he wants at any time, whenever. Like, he's all powerful, bro. He's a god. But he just talks to Picard because he's bored. Like he's a bored god. You know what I'm saying? He just wants to talk. He's like, yo, Picard, so what you doing today? He's like, my instance and I were. He's like, oh, you know what? No, fuck all that. I want you to fight the unbeatable Borg today. All right, how about that? You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, all right, well, we had plans, but okay, sure. I want to keep talking about that. So Stephanie, I'm gonna send the link. Why don't you join us? Everybody else, join us. And we're going to go ahead and continue this chat since we ran out of time. This will be replayed. Keep checking us out. Please share, like, comment, and follow everybody on here. Go see the new the Multiverse on Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you got time, go check out the Batman 2 and let us know your feelings about it. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath.
It's winded Vince. Winded Vince. Go ahead, wrap it up, bro.
All right, sorry. I had to get that. Whew. All right, sorry. I'm a Q fan, so sorry. I had to get that part out. All right. Well, anyway, so this is be your authentic. Shout out to the New Blurred followers on TikTok and the nerdy followers. Appreciate the love, man. The love y'all showed in the comments. For all of my 6 foot and over nerds that keep getting asked NBA questions, I'm here and I feel you. I'm the same way. So just continue to do as we do and be your authentic self. Because if you're not being yourself, guess what you being? You phony, you fake. And that's the type of people we hate. Yes, you know who you are. All right? So stop being that way. Be your authentic self, because that's the best way. We love you for you, not who you trying to be or who they want you to be. And in all things, like we always say, if you a real geek, then go ahead and let that geek flag fly. Pull it!
Fighter 2, I just really hate Zangief, only Ken and Ra 2. I find it hard to be Blanca, keep a wee ninja hanging and the uncle album banging. If you negative in energy, then stay out the vicinity. Yeah, them niggas over there. Yeah, now look at what